Welcome back to WandaVision. What have we got here? What is going on? Very solid 90s sitcom intro. I like that it's Speed who's kind of like the wild child right here. Ah! Oh, and it's like Malcolm in the Middle. I love that his costume is like a cheap version of his actual costume.
He's your uncle. Why would I be scared?
Oh, and Speed's the one who idolizes his uncle, also just like in the comics.
Are you old Red Riding Hood?
You probably suppressed a lot of the trauma.
Good double meaning right there. It's so cool seeing their
Traffic light.
like
Half-shut corn.
sort of original comic costumes, but
Yes.
just really cheap versions of them.
Thank you.
Well, there were no other clothes in my closet, so.
No, he's definitely just telling her what she wants to hear because he knows there's something wrong. I'm very interested to see what he does.
And the neighborhood watch is the only thing that stands between the trees and the toilet paper.
Like how they're still going on with the neighborhood watch.
You didn't tell me you had plans.
Well, I am telling you now.
He's not following the plan she had.
Uncle Pete to the rescue, huh?
You have a spooky time tonight, kid.
Good night, Dad.
He's not even really acting like the Fox version or the MCU version. He's just like a completely different character.
Okay, but
Classic.
just remember.
Alright, back to the real world. What is going on? Oh, it's like still covered in her energy? That's weird.
Now we know who we're dealing with.
No, you fucked everything up, dude.
We actually have no idea what will happen in there, or
That's a very good point.
Wanda dies.
So what?
And also, good luck trying to kill her.
To that? Yes, I know your history with Carol Danvers. Still have the luxury of optimism.
Well, those
You have no
superheroes
idea
you seem to hate are the ones that brought
What it
everybody
took
back.
to keep
so.
the lights on. Maybe it's a good thing you weren't here when your mother died.
Oh, what the fuck is wrong
Because
with you?
clearly you don't have the stuff.
You're asking to get your ass beat.
All of them.
Oh shit. Okay. I was not expecting that out of him. And when are we gonna see the kids use their powers?
Remember.
Are they gonna be teenagers like they are in like the X-Men comics?
Junior entrepreneur over here.
Is it
How about you
Mephisto
help me
or
maximize
is
your
he
candy
just?
acquisition, huh?
Yeah, kick ass.
I don't know what's going on, man. What's he got the earpiece for?
Quiet so far. Disappeared.
Who's on the other end of that?
Want something changed?
No.
So he's kind of aware
Never mind.
that this is going on too. So I guess everyone is aware that she's the one sort of in charge of this. They're all just playing along to avoid some kind of punishment, I suppose. That's creepy. And that's really fucked up, jeez. Commercial!
So hungry.
Why is this like weirdly disturbing?
Yo, magic!
Okay then, what the fuck? That was genuinely unnerving. What the hell was that?
Shot like a chump in the street for no reason at all, and next thing I know, I heard you calling me. I knew you needed me.
Uncle Pete, guess what? They've got food. Next stop, Cavity Town.
It's okay,
Well,
baby. You can
Finally got one of their powers. When are we gonna get to see Billy's powers though? Because that's what I'm like really waiting for.
Vision.
So he just really wants Vision back.
Vision?
They're barely moving. Are they alive?
Okay, so Wanda can only really control the people like immediately around her. That's really creepy. Just everyone frozen in place. I feel so bad for these people. Holy shit. This is also the first episode where there are other children around, isn't there? Like all the upbeat 90s music in the world can't take away how creepy this is. I mean, she did say she couldn't possibly control every single person going to all their various things throughout the day. Hey! This is kind of a Superman-ish moment. Oh, it's Agnes.
Agnes?
Took a wrong turn.
Like, she's got to be Agatha, but
Got lost.
I'm starting to, like,
In
second
the
guess
town
almost
you grew up
everything.
in? But what's an Avenger?
He doesn't even know about the Avengers?
Why don't you know?
Dead!
First you got killed by Wanda, then you got killed by Thanos, you know, it's this whole thing.
It is my intention.
Happy Halloween!
Can't go past Ellis, so that must be the boundary. Give it a shot, Vision. Let's see what happens. Oops, something in her medical file.
That's it.
Does she have her powers or
Way
not?
back
Come on,
into the
man.
hex will be here.
Energy inside has rewritten your cells on a molecular level twice. It's
Whoa.
changing you.
And I won't stop until I help her.
So her going through the boundary again is probably what's gonna actually give her powers.
She isn't charming as hell.
That is the lamest maze I have ever seen.
I think Mom and Dad would have loved it.
Yeah.
Could the
I
dad
think they would have.
potentially be Magneto? Can you make my dreams come true,
Where were
please?
you hiding?
You don't think it's wrong.
How'd you even do all this?
Wanda, how can you not think this is wrong, though?
You can talk to me.
Can't you, though? What's your deal? Well then.
Are you okay?
No, not really. She's definitely dealing with a lot.
I'm fine.
Perhaps when she was feeling said endless nothingness, a certain Mephisto came to make her a deal? Maybe? Is he gonna be able to get out of it? I suppose when you're able to phase through anything, that might count for something like this. Oh, that looks really cool knitting. Guess he can get out. But what happens when he leaves? Because I don't think he can stay alive. Oh, yeah, it looks like it's trying to pull him back in. Whoa. Oh! Finally got to see his powers. That was just a little taste, but man, I've been waiting for it. God damn, like that's really fucking dark. It's being ripped apart. Jesus Christ, dude.
It's not like your dead husband could die twice.
Well, I mean, he did actually die twice. What the hell, man? What the fuck? Oh, is she spreading the barrier?
See that? Something's happening.
Damn, she is so cool. Well, now she's in Wanda's little universe. Kind of fitting that she would turn all of the sword agents into, like, carnies. Okay, how far does she plan on spreading this? Like, you could have stopped a little while ago. Jesus Christ. What? That's how they end it? Alright, that did not feel like a full episode. Alright, well, personally, I think that's the first episode that actually kind of disappointed me. Because, I don't know, I feel like the last episode and the episode before that, the answers to what is going on and the ramifications of all that really started coming in. And this episode didn't really give me anything. Maybe a few little tidbits here and there, but nothing like the former two episodes did. I love the 90s sitcom style of this episode. It genuinely reminded me of sitcoms that I grew up with as a kid. But at the same time, there were also some humor moments that didn't really land with me. I feel like in the former episodes, almost every moment of comedy actually did make me laugh, even if it was like a really corny or cheesy joke, like from that era. This was the first one where a couple of the jokes just didn't really land for me. And I was really hoping that this would be the episode where Wanda reveals exactly how this all got started, and it seemed like we were gonna get that when Pietro asked her, like, you know, you can tell me, you brought me here, I'm cool with all this, like, tell me what's going on. And it seems like she doesn't know. She said she just felt alone and complete nothingness, and then it happened. Which, to me, like I said, I have a feeling she was at such a low point in her life that Mephisto probably saw that and saw a golden opportunity to make a deal with her. And I don't know, as it progresses, I'm actually starting to think that they really are going to go down the comic route and her children are the reason this was all created for her. Because in the comics, the kids are two shards of Mephisto's soul, and towards the end of that arc, he like reabsorbed them and used them for his own power. Or was it him that reabsorbed them, or was it like a different demon that did? Regardless, they're trying to use the children in order to further their own power, and that's why they allow Wanda to have the kids in the first place. And I don't know, it kind of seems like here in the show it's similar, where Wanda can't actually resurrect the dead, meaning she probably also can't just create life out of nothing. So yeah, I'm thinking Mephisto did all this for her, got it all started, or amped her power up enough so that she could do all this, just so he can get those kids. But I don't know. And I don't know because they didn't tell me really anything in this episode. There was that interesting moment in the Sword headquarters when Darcy tells Monica, like, you've gone through the barrier twice and it's literally changing your cells. Which if that's not a hint, her powers are a-coming, I don't know what is. 1 or 2 more times through that barrier, I'm almost positive she's gonna come out as Photon or Spectrum or whatever version of the hero she's going to be. One other thing they did kind of reveal in this episode is that Herb had a moment just like Agnes did where he was like, do you not like that? Should we try something else? Do it like this? So it seems to me that every person here in this entire town is aware that Wanda is doing this to them and is aware that this is all fake, but she's manipulating their minds into them thinking that that's what they want, that they want to go along with whatever plans she has and, make this a good TV show or whatever. But it really confused me that Agnes seemed to be just as freaked out and on board with everything as the other townspeople. That being said, though, she was the only one well outside of Wanda's range that seemed to be able to, speak on her own. And her very witch-like laugh before Vision kind of put her back under still makes me think that she's probably going to be Agatha, but I don't know, that threw a slight wrench in that theory, just her seemingly not being any more above the influence of Wanda's powers than any of the other people. And they didn't really answer anything going on with Pietro either. He's still very much either playing a part or really doesn't know why he's here and why he looks different and sounds different and all this other stuff. We did finally get the twins' powers though, and hell yes, man. I'm so happy about that. Mostly for Billy, because when Speed started running around to super speed, I was like, oh, cool. But then when I got to see the blue energy of Billy, and he was reading Vision's mind and everything, yes, bish. Oh, and I suppose we did also learn that Vision is specifically the one that Sword is after, which, to be totally honest, is kind of not obvious, but expected. They were the ones that had his body in the first place, so it only makes sense that they're here to get him back. But it seems like they should know at this point you can't get him back as long as that force field is up. It's just gonna literally tear him apart, which, goddamn, that scene was intense, watching him literally be ripped to shreds. It weirdly kind of reminded me of Wolverine getting ripped apart by Dark Phoenix in the X3 movie, and they can get away with doing something that's mildly graphic when it comes to a robot character as opposed to a real flesh and blood human. So that was cool. I really liked that scene. And as a result, Wanda has expanded the force field a lot further than I thought she was going to, not only trapping Vision and a bunch of new Sword agents, but also Darcy, which really sucks because she was, this close to cracking some new big thing going on with Hayward. So obviously we're gonna have to wait a little bit for that reveal. But aside from those things, I feel like there wasn't enough that happened in this episode. I think it should have been another 10 minutes longer. Just give me a little bit more. I fully expected this episode to be the one where I had too much to talk about, have maybe one of my theories answered, or get, that next step closer to an answer, but I feel like there just wasn't enough that really happened here. And even though all the episodes have been pretty short, this is the first one where I'm like, this felt too short though. That didn't even feel like the right ending. So yeah, I'm a little disappointed. To say there weren't good things about the episode. Cinematography in this episode was very good, as it's been. They nailed the 90s sitcom stuff perfectly, as they've been doing with all the sitcom stuff. Don't think there was anything in the real world that was spectacular. I do really like the shot of Vision coming out of the force field and him just like dropping down to his knees. I thought that was a really good shot. But aside from that, nothing like really spectacular. Music in this episode was also very good, fit the 90s sitcom very well, and I actually really like how that music kept playing over the scene when Vision is walking through all the people who are like frozen in time. Like, I'm glad it didn't hold the audience's hand for a moment and be like, oh, let's play sinister music right off the bat so that you know, like, oh, this is bad, this is weird. It kept going with that 90s theme while showing all that creepy weirdness. And then it moved into the slightly more sinister, like, modern soundtrack. And I thought that was really good. I like that. Acting-wise, I'm giving this one to Paul Bettany because I think he did a fantastic job. Not only his, like, almost death scene, but his scene with Agnes I thought was really good. Him working through his own confusion of not knowing his past while also like desperately trying to get to the bottom of things. Like, I'm so sure that he's not going to be alive by the end of this show, and it probably will be the last time we see him in anything Marvel. And it's kind of a bummer. Like, Paul Bettany will definitely be missed. Unless I'm wrong and he does end up being alive by the end of this, but I feel like this episode kind of proved it. Like, he can't leave the hex or he will die. Like, maybe when the hex is removed, he'll somehow be able to live on the way his children probably will be. But even that, I'm like, maybe they won't. Who knows? Like, I'm positive Wiccan and Speed are going to be part of the MCU moving forward, but they might go more of the comic book route. These versions of the twins cannot be saved, but through Wanda's own willpower and grief, they're born to two different families and then meet up again when they join the Young Avengers. Like, that could definitely be a possibility. I kind of hope they don't do it like that though, because that would require like a whole other time jump and all kinds of nonsense. Editing and pacing of this episode, I feel like it was actually pretty slow paced and it felt too short. Like, two combinations you really don't want to have with each other, because it wasn't like it felt short because there was so much happening. It was short and not a whole lot happened. Like, again, don't get me wrong, things happened, but just not nearly enough. Like, I'm getting to the point where I'm like, I need some answers here, man, and now you're just like beating around the bush. Like, give me something. Overall, I'm gonna give this episode, I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10. I think it could have been a lot better. Like, there were parts of it that I did enjoy quite a bit, but if my first thought when the episode ends is, oh, that was kind of disappointing, then yeah, I really can't give it much higher than a 7.5. On the plus side, since there's only 3 episodes left now, it's almost assured that these last 3 episodes are going to be a roller coaster of all kinds of different shit. And that certainly gets me looking forward to next week's episode. I unfortunately won't be able to post that episode as quickly as I've been the past couple ones. I'm going back to work and I'm going to be working on Fridays, so the earliest I can get these posted is probably going to be 9 or 10 o'clock on Fridays, but I'm obviously going to continue with the show. Like, there's no way I'm going to stop midway through just because I was a little disappointed with this one episode. So I will see you all on the next one, and that's about it.